Alright everyone, this is the Shadow of the Hawk, and I just got back from watching The Batman. Now, before I get into this, I'm just going to say this is not intended to be a spoiler-filled review, but I might mention some things that are spoilery out of wanting to talk about certain elements I liked or disliked. So, in advance, if you don't want any sort of information going into watching this film, turn off now. With that out of the way, I also need to let you guys in on one little detail. I am a film student, meaning I'm going to be looking at certain things from the perspective of learning about like the behind the scenes or the intentions. So some of the things I might be talking about you wouldn't be looking for. That is neither a good thing or a bad thing. It just means I ruin movies for myself. So let's get into this. As an overall rating, I would personally give this film an 8 out of 10. It gets a point, just straight up for not being an MCU style movie. It is very much not, I wouldn't even call it a superhero movie, personally. It is a movie about a man who happens to dress like a bat in a city called Gotham. Against, well, I hope this part isn't a spoiler, because it's fairly obvious in the trailers. He's fighting a guy named the Riddler. And as you can imagine, the entire film is basically rooted in a scavenger hunt for some stuff the Riddler's doing. Okay, so what are the things that I really, really enjoyed? Well, again, this is not a MCU film. This is dark. Like, really dark at times. And not just the lighting, but the actual, like, vibe of the film. It gets pretty, like, excessive at times. Well, I say excessive, I'm a guy who liked Punisher, Daredevil. This hit that tone. If you've seen those shows or seen clips of those shows, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Some other things I really liked is the movie felt grounded in reality almost. Like, this is a story that could actually have happened, okay? Maybe some of the elements are a little bit weird. Like, traffic cameras, for example, would be able to, if someone like actually took the time to doing it, could follow Batman as he's like driving around and track where he goes. And a few other minor things. There is a moment in the film where Batman can get his mask taken off, and it doesn't happen at all. Which it felt weird to me. But hey, showbiz is gonna showbiz. What else did I like? The music choice, the sound track was pretty good, though. As I will mention, I had a little bit of issue with the sound design. All the actors did an amazing job, and segueing into actors, I loved what they did with Batman in this. They really showed that this is not... He's not a hero. He is a damaged individual in a bat costume, running around, beating the fuck out of people. Mind my French. Which, again, like, it feels more grounded. This is not a sane human being doesn't dress like a bat and beat people up while wearing leather. Like, that is not a thing a stable human being does. At least that's what I've been told. Alright, anything else? Well, like I said, the actors are all good. The chick who played Selena Kyle, really good. The guy who played, Commissioner, well, he wasn't a commissioner at this point, but Jim Gordon, pretty good. The guy who played Alfred, pretty good. Every actor nailed their roles, and all the characters were done in a way that was somewhat different than has been shown in the past. The Riddler was a very different incarnation of what you would have expected. And then segueing into some things I would personally change. The sound effects or not sound effects, but like sound design. The music was loud in certain points of the film, to the point where you couldn't even like hear the dialogue or hear gunshots some of the time. And I would personally have lowered it or removed it in certain spots. Create more of a thunder effect would probably be the best way. Like, you have like moments of quiet, and then a climax in that fight, followed by loud music. Would have been good. Or a moment of uncertainty, and then either tragic music or glorious music playing, depending on the situation. Then we segue into something that'll be slightly more controversial. And I do not like... Well, it's not that I don't like, but it does feel like there's a bit of a double standard, almost, in how... Okay. one of my favorite Green Lanterns is Jon Stewart. I love, in my opinion, aside from the animated version with like Aya and Razor, Jon Stewart is probably is probably the best Green Lantern. And I also love Miles Morales. He's an amazing Spider-Man character. Do you want to know the difference between those two and this film's take on Catwoman and Commissioner Gordon? Well, not Commissioner, I'd assume just like Captain or Detective at this point. Is Miles Morales isn't just Peter Parker played by a black dude. Jon Stewart isn't just Hal Jordan played by a black dude. They are their own distinct characters. And personally, I would have kept whatever his title is, Gordon, but not have him be James Gordon. A different name would work. Even another J name. Like, okay, I don't know any other J names besides James, but you get my point. And then with Catwoman, she could have been kept Selena or Kyle, whichever one you prefer, but have like the first or last name changed because if you like, for example, if you were to take Black Lightning, right, and then instead of his actual name is escaping me, but you named him Grant Mayweather and had him be played by a white dude, that would piss people off, even though it is not the same Black Lightning. It is a different character wearing the moniker of Black Lightning. And I can understand where some people might listen to this and go, oh, you're a racist, you're a piece of garbage. And if you want to call me that, okay, I'm sorry that you think that way about me. And that is not at all to say I did not like. The actors were amazing. I feel like they were perfect for the role they did. I cannot think of anyone else who could have done the job better for what the director was trying to do. Anything else? Any other majors? Aside from like the usual things that Hollywood does, like minor inconsistencies that you'll see in films. The final real big thing I would have changed would have been in the fight scenes. There's this definite like feeling that they're trying to allude to Batman as being more of like, at least from the perspective of the criminals, as like this demon in the dark. And the way they go about that feels a little like you can clearly tell that's what they're trying to do with like the opening monologue and then as well as like a lot of the shots they do, but they don't go all the way with it. There are like scenes where you'll have him doing stuff from the villain's perspective and they're like terrified, but then you'll cut to his perspective and you'll cut back and it doesn't have the same level of like viciousness or brutality to it because you're seeing things from his perspective at times. And again, I might be just heavily looking into this stuff because film student, but I feel like that definitely would have been changed. So yeah, okay, maybe an 8 out of 10 is probably a bad number, more like an 8.72, possibly an 8.91. I don't know, I'll probably watch it again and have a better estimate after like I'm able to start looking for the less subtle bits. Oh, the freaking humor as well, the jokes and stuff, top tier. It is my kind of humor where the jokes aren't entirely intentional, where they're just like random moments of statements or random just funny moments. You'll understand it when you see it. And that's all I gotta say. If you got any comments, criticisms, I'll leave them in the comments section down below. If you want to leave a downvote, I will try to keep that downvote counter updated for as long as I can. And yeah, have a good day. Bye.